Hello everyone and welcome back to the shed. I have been in the shed for hours trying to take out these pistons out of these rear Starlet GT calipers. If anybody has done this job before, they probably know the misery that I'm after going through, but let's have a look at them, let's have a look at some parts and we'll get straight into it. Three to 4 hours now, and all that I have done is gotten the piston out of the calipers. I have them actually out of both calipers now. So it was a bit of an ordeal because my plan was to put an air line directly onto here and have the piston come out immediately and then it would be perfect. But of course that didn't happen, or at least not like that. So what I did was I had this this little I suppose air gun here, and I went away and got these two fittings, so like a little quick connect for a 6mm air line, and then that thread pitch there will tap in here and shoot out so that I wouldn't be losing any air pressure. So I thought that would do it. Didn't work. What I ended up having to do was I soaked, so I put WD-40 into this hole here, which is the brake feed line coming in. Pretty much just tried to soak the walls of the cylinder inside here, lube up the piston, and then what I also had to do was I had to put it in the vise and get the caliper rewind tool and just stay working this piston around and around and around until obviously I got enough movement in it to put the airline on it and get it to blow out. So once I kind of got that system in place, I got the other one done in probably about 20 minutes, so it wasn't too bad. I have never done this before. I've never rebuilt one of these calipers before, so I'm just kind of winging it. I picked up a full seal kit. Got this off Flows, but I believe it's actually a Toyota kit. So we shouldn't have any bother with fitting or anything like that. My original plan was to be in the shed tonight, or today, early today, get these out, get them sandblasted, get them painted and rebuilt tonight, but realistically I don't think that's going to happen. I'll probably get them fully disassembled. I might get them sandblasted, and then I might have to leave it at that because it's already kind of pushing on in the evening time. I suppose there's a small few bits to the piston here that have to go back on in order, so I might just show you some of the bits in case anyone is having a go at doing this, and like me on my first piston it might just fly off. So I'll show you this. Obviously this is the piston out of the caliper. This unit here threads out. So you have a few bits inside here, and then the orientation is this little, what you want to call it, little bracket here. You have a spring, you have a washer, and then you have this another little washer that's sitting on bearings, I suppose, to allow it to spin down without wearing away the material. So your orientation then is bearings, washer, spring, top hat, or whatever you want to call it, and then this threads into the back of your piston. Just like that. So I go through and clean up all of this. I get the rest of this caliper disassembled. I probably won't do like a full tutorial or anything like that because I don't know what I'm doing, but what I will do is I'll link a video that I have watched from Shedworks, a chap that I follow on Instagram, a subscriber to his YouTube channel as well. He had done this. He gives a nice bit of detail as to what to do, so I'm only really going to be copying his work, so I'll do that, and I'll link his video down below. And thank you for putting up that video because it's going to be a big help for me trying to do this. So yeah, let's get into it and get these calipers rebuilt. So just on this bit here, this is the little piston for the handbrake. To apply the handbrake, you are pulling on the cable which is engaging the spring that is driving this down and then pushing this piston in. I was using, I suppose, the longest nose pliers that I had to try and grab it in the sides there to pull it out, and could only really get it so far, and the handles were kind of getting in the way. But then when I got the light in there, I could see these little grooves here on either side, so then I was able to go in with my my little what's it called, clamps here, and grab it that way and then get it pulling it. So there's two seals on this as well. These are all supplied in the rebuild kit. So that is essentially the caliper disassembled apart from this section of it here. So there we go. I think that this little groove here is where this piston might sit into. When you pull the handbrake, then it goes that way, or I don't know. I'm kind of talking through my arse, I suppose. I don't really know. But yeah, that's one caliper down. That's all the parts left there for it. I'll pull out the couple of seals that are left, and then this is ready to be blasted. Cool. So here we have it, two calipers fully stripped down. Next job now is to go over as far as the parts washer, throw them in, give them a good wash, get all the grease and oil away from it, and rev up the parts washer, not the fucking parts washer, the sandblaster. Get all this old paint off and get them ready for a bit of paint. I don't know yet, am I going to pull out the gun and like properly paint them, or just do a spray can, or what? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I probably shouldn't rush it. I'm only thinking, will I use a can because it'll be faster, but I probably shouldn't rush it because it will annoy me. Although the front calipers are only painted with a can. Look, let's get them clean, let's stay going, and just see what we can get done tonight. Another few bits actually that I picked up during the week is a small few bits that I was missing to completely finish the engine. So I hadn't spark plugs. I have spark plugs now. Got spark plugs from Flows, everything here comes from Flows. NGK plugs. I got a little thermostat and a new seal because I was well, I have an old one for it, but I wanted to put a new one into it. And then I also got this little wheel. The name won't come to me. It sits inside this housing here and spins and gets spark for each cylinder. When I think of the name, I will tell you. But yeah, I might try and get them few bits on there tonight as well while these parts soak in the parts washer. Let's get at it. While the parts are soaking on the other side of the shed there in the parts washer, I might just throw in this thermostat and the spark plugs and get them out of the way. Obviously this is the thermostat housing, so there's no thermostat in here now at the minute. probably one of the most easy jobs that you could do, even with the engine in the car. It'd still be relatively simple. 2 bolts here, pop this housing off, you will pop in your thermostat and put your bolts back on, and that's it. Obviously when if the engine was in the car, you'll have an electrical connector on the back side here and another one up here. This one can stay in place, but if you plan to remove it, I'd probably just pop this off just in case you break any brackets or something like that. Fairly simple device. Your thermostat housing is regulating the water temperature in your engine, so you see how it can actuate here on the bottom. When your temperature gets too high or too low, it'll either open or close to regulate that. Obviously there's a seal on it, that's a separate part number, so you'd have to pick that up separately. And this unit here, this little gold pin, is jiggle pin. I must just move around my seal so that it's not set up against that. That should be able to move freely. And what that is doing is that's going to allow your system to bleed even when you have the unit all in place and sealed. By kind of pumping the pipes that are on it, it'll be able to bleed. Also the orientation of this little jiggle pin is to be facing towards 9 o'clock. There's actually a little the little lip on the thermostat housing there is to indicate where they want it. So if this is the front of the engine, you want that little jiggle pin to be pointing towards the front and pointing towards your radiator. Fairly simple old bit of kit there, but we'll throw it in and get it done. So, quick update and a slight change of plan. I caught myself starting to rush things again, so it's gone kind of late. I was rushing to see could I get everything blasted and maybe even in primer or whatever. I'm not doing that now because I was already kind of half arson doing the job, so I stopped myself. I've done that a couple of times now with this project where just because I'm here I try and do things in the one evening and then it's not done right and end up redoing it. So I have caught myself. What I've done is I just have the calipers and stuff degreased and all washed down again. I cleaned some of the internal parts, and what I'm going to do just to finish off this video is I'm going to change out just a few seals on this handbrake piston here. So I'll give this a bit of a clean up. The calipers have been washed and degreased, so they are clean, ready to go into the blaster. I'd say they might be fairly difficult to blast actually. It's probably going to take a huge amount of time. Cleaned up some of the springs, cleaned up the little mechanism there for the handbrake cable as well. That will be blasted and painted as well, and I'll probably get these bolts taken off and sent off to be zinc coated. All of the bolts that I have for these calipers have already been zinc plated and that, so they'll all look brand new, and that one handbrake cable bolt will annoy me. But yeah, I'm not going to get it done tonight, but I think that's the right call. I think just take my time with it, come back some evening during the week. I've everything laid out where it came out of, I know what order everything is supposed to go back in. I have the kit here, all the parts are already here. So yeah, I'm just going to slow down and just do it right one time. I cleaned up the piston here as well also. So put that through the parts washer and just give it a bit of a scrub up. When you compare it to the one out of the other piston, it's quite a bit cleaner. No major scoring or anything like that, which is good. So they should be good to use again. So yeah, also put in the spark plugs, put in the little trigger wheel and the thermostat, which I don't know why I told you that, because you've all seen it anyway. Yeah, good all evening in the shed. I'll get these few bits done and then I'm gonna wrap up and leave it at that. So I'll get stuck into this.